The hidden story of Google's first billion. In the late 1990s, the internet was already everywhere. Millions of pages, millions of users. But one critical thing was broken: search. You could type a simple question and get useless results. Spam, paid placements, manipulated rankings. Search engines did not care about truth. They cared about ads. And this was the real problem. The internet was growing faster than trust. While everyone was racing to monetize attention, two graduate students at Stanford were obsessed with something else: understanding meaning. Larry Page and Sergey Brin were not trying to build a company. They were trying to fix a flaw in how information worked. And what they discovered would eventually create Google's first $1 billion. But not in the way anyone expected. Google's biggest breakthrough was not technology. It was restraint. Most people believe Google made its first billion by inventing ads. That is wrong. Google made its first billion by refusing to behave like every other internet company. And that decision almost killed it. Here is the strange part. By the late 1990s, Google's search was clearly better than everyone else. Faster, cleaner, smarter. Users loved it, yet investors were not impressed. Yahoo was offered the chance to buy Google for $1 million. They said no. Venture capital firms hesitated. Why? Because Google had no clear business model. In an era where internet startups were burning cash to sell banner ads, Google refused to clutter its pages. Its founders believed something radical for that time. Ads should never interfere with truth. Search results should never be sold. And users should never feel manipulated. In the dot-com boom, this philosophy looked naive, even dangerous. Google was gaining users, but losing money. Server costs were rising, traffic was exploding, and revenue was almost non-existent. By 1999, Google had a product the world loved and a business model that barely existed. This was the mystery. How does a company survive when it refuses to exploit its own popularity? To answer that, we need to go back to how Google actually worked. Larry Page noticed something most people ignored. On the web, links were not random. They were votes. If many credible websites linked to one page, that page probably mattered. This idea became page rank. Google did not rank pages by who paid more. It ranked them by trust. And users felt the difference instantly. Search finally made sense. But trust does not pay bills. By 2000, Google was respected, growing, and still fragile. Then came the turning point. Not a flashy invention, not a marketing campaign, just, a quiet shift in strategy. Google realized something powerful. People do not hate advertising. They hate irrelevant advertising. So instead of selling space, Google decided to sell intent. When someone searched for cheap flights, they were already telling you what they wanted. So Google created text ads that appeared only next to relevant searches. No banners, no pop-ups, no distractions. And advertisers paid only when users clicked. This was honestly revolutionary. For the first time, advertising became measurable, accountable, efficient. Businesses loved it because they could track results. Users tolerated it because it did not ruin the experience, and Google controlled it completely. The system was called AdWords. Quietly, revenue started to grow. Every search improved the algorithm. Every click refined the data. Every advertiser competed in auctions that Google designed. By 2003, Google was making serious money. Still without shouting. Still without compromising search quality. Then in 2004, Google went public. And almost suddenly, it crossed $1 billion in revenue. Not by selling attention, but by protecting trust. That first billion changed everything. It funded Gmail, Google Maps, YouTube, Android. The most important lesson is not about money. It is about timing. Google did not monetize early. It waited until it understood the problem deeply. While others chased short-term profit, Google built long-term clarity. And that clarity became its advantage. Most businesses fail because they monetize noise instead of value. They sell before they understand. Google proved something rare. Sometimes the smartest strategy is knowing what not to exploit. Most people won't comment. If this surprised you, type what shocked you the most. Like it so this story doesn't die here. Subscribe because the next one will hit even harder. Worth thinking about. In your work, your industry, your ideas. What is everyone rushing to monetize, but no one is taking the time to truly understand? That answer might be worth far more than your first dollar. It might be worth your first billion.